What is up, guys? It's a boy Lance back at it again with a new One Punch Man, the strongest SSR review. We're gonna take a different change of pace in the terms of presentation, so do bear with me. I'm just trying out some new style today. So let's get on with the video, shall we? Firstly, I'd like to introduce one of the best waifus in the game, who just happens to stand at the apex of AoE characters. So she is one of the best competitive PvP AoE characters in the game currently in Japan, and she is seeing some good meta time in Southeast Asia as well. She absolutely dominates in PvP as an OTK specialist, and when you combo her with certain characters like Metal Knight and Golden Ball, which can set up for more damage, she can absolutely wipe the playing field very easily. Now, she requires some form of setup. That is just the simple fact. She will not be able to reach max damage on her own. So what are the examples of setup characters? We have Metal Knight, which is an LSSR, and Golden Ball, which is a character you can get via the normal game. Her keepsake is also a must if she is your main burst character. This is an essential part of her being very strong. Next, King is one of the banes of Tatsumaki comp. Just because that you -2 energy, so your setup ults and then you won't have enough energy for Tatsu to ult. Or your setup might not be able to ult as well, reducing Tatsumaki's damage. So that can be quite a thorn in her side. Now, let's go to the abilities. So her passive, she deals an additional 30% crit damage every time there is an injured enemy present on the field, and it stacks up to 3 times. So you can have a total of 90% additional crit damage when you have 3 injured enemies on the playing field. And then when it's her extreme passive at 5 stars, the value goes up to 40% per stack, so you can total up at 120% crit damage, which is absolutely disgusting. Her basic attack, known as Oblivion Storm, she deals 120% damage and has the chance of weakening the enemy by 10% if she crits for 1 round. And her bread and butter ability is Psychic Shock. So she deals 100% damage to 6 enemies and has a 50% chance to inflict injury. This injury value is capped at 50% and is dealt as extra damage. Whereas when you upgrade it to her Ultra Ultimate, your base ult value goes up to 120%. And your injury value goes up to 65%. So now, when talking about Tatsumaki as your main character, you definitely want to 5-star her as soon as possible. She absolutely slaps as a main character, and there is definitely no doubt that you want to push her to 5-star as soon as possible. In regards to Awakening, you can actually push her to 5 stars if you have enough resources as a Japanese player. For Southeast Asia, you might want to stop around 2 to 3 stars if possible. If you want to push to 5 star, it's fine, but you might want to reverse her for the Awakened version further down the road. To total 5 stars, Tatsumaki, you require 239 shards as well as 343 badges. If you have other espers in the lineup like I do, like Mosquito Girl as well as Boros, you might want to prioritize Tatsumaki over these characters first. Now, in regards to her gearing, I usually run a Knight set on her. I would prefer if I could get a better Broken set, but my Broken set isn't as good as this Knight set, so you can tell how bad my Broken set is. Definitely Knight is one of the best gears on her, but I would say standing at the apex for gearing on the normal Tatsumaki would be Prisoner Gear, just because of the passive, which increase all damages by 15% once you crit. So definitely it's very good. But unfortunately, Prisoner Gear is hard to come by, just because the drop rate is a little bit low in Conqueror Challenge, so you're really depending on attack percentage as well as attack speed drops in Conqueror Challenge, and it only drops on Subterranean King's Conqueror Challenge. In terms of talent, we have True Strike on her, which deals additional extra damage when enemies are above 80% HP. So usually her setup characters don't really require to do damage, so most people just run full speed or HP gears on them just to set up for the statuses. Like for Golden Ball, it would be Shatter, and for Metal Knight, it would just be the Burn. But most importantly is the Injury. For buff gear wise, you definitely want to run attack, crit attacks, and you definitely want to roll for crit on your Esper side. That is the bread and butter for Tatsu. The more she crits, the more damage she do, the more her crit damage multiplier value goes up. So let's actually have a look at a strong Tatsumaki player. So let's have a look at this Tatsumaki player and see how his comp fares. So I have a 300k BP advantage against him, so I should be able to take him down theoretically via BP. So his Tatsumaki is his main character, as you can see with the— oh my god! Where is my team's health? What the hell? I mean, okay, I expected burst, but I didn't expect like my team to be wiped out like that. Okay, his Metal Bat teams. So basically what his team functions to do is basically his Metal Bat will be the main defender against me accessing his backline. And his Tatsu just stands at the back, sits still, looks pretty, and basically take out my whole team. My god, guys, what the hell? It's so— okay, it's genuinely frustrating to fight a Tatsumaki player just because of that level of damage. In the early game, you do not have tanky characters. As you can see, my Carnage Kabuto is not exactly tanky. It only has 678k HP. So definitely you would need at least 2 million HP to actually tank that relatively safely. And by the time ZK will have 2 million HP, his Tatsu will be just as strong. So definitely a very strong OTK character. There's zero counterplay to her. Unless you want to run fast Amai, but then your AoE characters do not have any other ability to use, so you still get nuked by something else. Like if they have a strong Golden Ball as a support like you saw with Kata's comp over there, then even if I nullify his Tatsu, he still has a different damage dealer to carry the team. So speed is king in terms of OTK meta. So definitely if you have a Tatsumaki, you want to gear her very right with 3 attack percentages and 1 attack speed, and you must Star Ascension card the speed gear so that she moves relatively fast. So with and without a support, Tatsumaki seems to be able to absolutely slap in PvP. Now, we've talked about all the good things about Tatsumaki. Let's talk about the cons. So her major issues is that her keepsake is essential. So if you miss her keepsake or you did not get it during the last keepsake event, your Tatsumaki is basically inferior. She will never reach the damage heights that the Tatsumaki in this video have reached before, just because you're skipping out on a lot of damage. Next, she also requires setup. As you can see with Kata, his Tatsu didn't really do that much damage. That's because there was no setup. If so help me, he had an MK or even a fast Beast King and that injury bonus actually landed, I'm very sure that Tatsumaki would have annihilated my whole team, leaving only CK on the battlefield. She also must outspeed enemy kings as well as OTK, so you're basically competing for speed, which is SAC battle, Star Ascension card battle. So the amount of resources you need to throw into Tatsumaki might be a little bit too hard for free-to-play players in Southeast Asia. In Japan, you get 3-star Ascension card per week, so it's not that big of a deal. But yes, you must play a lot with speed, because if you are getting outspeed all the time, your Tatsumaki will basically basic attack until she dies, which defeats the purpose of a burst character. And this is specifically catered to C, but there are better espers coming out soon. So you have Gyoro meta coming in 1 to 2 months. You have Phoenix Man. You have Awakened Terrible Tornado, which is her replacement. And you have RMG. So definitely there are better espers coming out which you might want to invest. So you might want to pull out on the investment on Tatsumaki a little bit. She's also considerably paper. If I were to run a faster Amai than I have now, I probably would be able to take her out. Judging by their speed, I would say their speed is roughly 330. So I just need to start Ascension card my Amai speed here, and I'm more likely than not will actually make up to them. So you'll definitely need to play a lot with speed when it comes to Tatsumaki. If you think your Tatsumaki can survive long enough with an alloy in the backline together with her, then most probably you can play slow Tatsu. If not, I highly recommend you go for speed. And in that context of Southeast Asia, she's already nearing her end. What do I mean by this? It means that her time in the meta is basically up. So that means that the competitive meta is shifting away from Tatsu already. So you might not want to invest into her anymore, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about this form of presentation, guys. If you like this or you prefer the slide method which I've been doing previously. It's my first time doing this, so you can see it's a little bit shaky here and there, but definitely it will improve over time. So thank you so much for watching. Till we meet again. Peace.